Tesla finally released the new refresh of the Model Y Juniper. We've seen the leaked photos, we've seen the light bar, we've seen them driving around with all the stuff around it where you can't really see it, and now it is finally here. And I want to show you how it looks and feels firsthand. I think a few of the most exciting things is the front light bar, the rear light bar, and those ventilated front seats. And let's not forget the power folding rear seats. Finally got that in. There's also a quick little surprise feature with those rear seats. So we're right here in Austin, and I've been waiting to see the new refresh in person. I got there, I walk in, I'm like, oh man, this is it. It's finally here. And I just see it in all its glory. It's a quicksilver model. It has the long range looking wheels, the black ones, not the fancy 20-inch ones. And let me know what you guys think. Is it really worth the refresh? Is it really worth the, $2 to $5 grand more launch edition and all that? Let's find out. Now let's start off with the biggest game changer is we are going from this Model Y has been the same since about 2020, and now we just entered 2025, and we finally got this release. The biggest thing I could see that's very apparent to everyone is that front light bar. In my opinion, I do wish it was continuous, but seeing it in person, it does look very futuristic. It does look really sleek. I'm still taking time to adapt to the front part. But that light bar, it just looks from the future. It reminds me of, the Cybertruck. It reminds me of the Cybercab. And it just feels like Tesla is moving in the direction of that continuous light bar. So when I seen that, I was like, wow, this is pretty nice. It's looking pretty sick. And I don't know. I think I'm on board with it. So it looks like the headlights are right underneath it where I guess the fog lights used to be on the original Tesla Model Y. It looks like where it's placed because I'm pretty sure that light bar isn't bright enough for nighttime driving. It's just kind of like a daytime running light infinitely on. What I want to jump into also is the future of FSD. We got it initially on the Cybertruck is the addition of that front facing camera. Unfortunately, the new Tesla Model Y, Juniper or whatever, it is still on hardware 4, which is a little confusing, but you do have that front camera. It's right there underneath the front bumper. I feel like the biggest differentiator is when you're with FSD and there's road debris, that's a really serious issue and problem that, my wife and I had driving from Austin to LA this past Christmas. Is anytime there's road debris, I literally had to move the car myself and figure it out, which I guess is understandable because it's only having that front camera. But adding this front camera is definitely going to add some newer and better features of FSD 13 or 14, whatever is coming out next. The biggest game changer with this car, and I totally agree looks epic and sick, is that rear light bar. Now this rear light bar looks like something from the future. When I seen it, I was just like, dang, this is pretty fire. Just the way it illuminates. And at night, I'd heard it illuminates the entire floor. So it's kind of like you get this new stance, this new presence with this Tesla Model Y being a mid-sized SUV, fairly affordable, not too crazy, like 80, 90, $100,000 car, sub 60K, I guess you could say. And it just has this, not only a wow factor, but it has this futuristic stance, kind of like, I wouldn't want to say evil, but very like aggressive stance. And seeing the light bar, it just really, it's almost like nothing else that I've seen before. I know Porsche does a really sick light bar on the Carreras and 911s, whatever. Those look really nice. I'm very impressed with that. But this one has more of a reflective luminance to it. And I was really impressed at every angle. It just looks good. It looks sharp. It looks sleek, sexy. And it really adds a differentiator from the previous model to now. Like now when I see the 2024 and before models of the Tesla Model Ys, they look cool still. They're still sick cars. But it kind of looks outdated now with those just, little things on the side or whatever, those tail lights. Without the bar, you're just like, dang, like, you kind of want to play that catch up, And the stock wheels that come with it actually look pretty good in person. I believe they're 18 or 19-inch wheels. They give you the most range, EPA rated about 320. And when I see them in person, they're not too bad. They look pretty cool. They do have the 20-inch ones. Those are an addition to that. I think on the launch edition, you'll get that type of wheel, or you can get it for free. The one in the showroom was a Quicksilver with the just all black stock wheels. They didn't look too bad. The car still looked futuristic. It looked pretty nice. I feel like they're a lot more futuristic than the previous model, stock black rims that were on the Tesla Model Y. They don't look so dorky. These look a lot cooler, little sleeker, but in my personal opinion, I probably would still get the 20-inch wheels just because I like a low profile tire and I just like how it looks, even though you do lose a decent amount of range. I don't know. If you're going to be paying that much for a car, might as well look pretty sick and hopefully not too dorky, but that's just my opinion. Now let's talk about some functional upgrades that could truly add a benefit to our first world problems and situations in life. I'm gonna check out the power seats. See if they work. That's sick. Look at that. And I don't know if you know, but it actually will move the front seat in case it's in the way. Do the second row. There we go. It's pretty nice. Bam. And then go up. Both of them at the same time. It's pretty nice. So that is a great feature with the Model Y. Now, a big controversy that people are talking about, especially if you have the refreshed, Model S, Model X, and obviously the Cybertruck, is the removal of the turn signal stock. Tesla brought it back for the Model Y, and I think the reason is because if it's the #1 selling car, this is just my assumption, they're probably thinking the average person, the average family, the average consumer that is going to get this type of car mid-range, still pretty pricey, it's not super cheap. They're going to want functionality, and because I think they don't have that special steer-by-wire and the 4x steering that the Cybertruck has, you still have to do a full circle when you're doing turns, U-turns, and stuff like that. It's really hard to navigate to click that button when the steering wheel is either upside down or the switch is on the other side. I've heard it's been very confusing for a lot of people, especially if you have someone, maybe in their late 50s or 60s. It could be a little troublesome, and I think maybe they didn't want to have a deterrent for anyone saying, I'm good, I'm going to stick with the old one for a while, because they definitely want to get these units out. Now, if you're going to be getting any Tesla Model Y, at least in the US, you do get the launch edition, which is a pretty good steal. You get the badging, you get the puddle lights, you get the upgraded rims and interior, and it actually comes with acceleration boost. So it'll give you about 0.5 seconds faster. Usually that's a $2,000 upgrade, and along with the wheels, typically $2,000 to $3,000. All right, now let's step inside the vehicle. And when I sat in this vehicle, I could really feel like the new features, the new fit and finish. It was just sleeker. It was more buttoned up. It just had this ambience of futuristic, and maybe it's because I'm coming from the 2024 Model Y right before the refresh, and you just feel it, especially with that ambient lighting. I mean, man, I really wish I could find the vendor or whoever makes it, maybe it is Tesla, that makes those lights, because I've been wanting to add ambient light, but the way they do it, it's classy, it's sleek, it's sexy. It doesn't look overboard like a Fast and the Furious car lighting like you see on a Civic Type R, no offense, but it just looks nice and classy. Like if I were to pick up my wife in that, like she'll still think I'm cool, not some dork, like little nerdy kid trying to like soup up his little Civic 4-banger. So that I really did appreciate seeing that and feeling the aesthetics of it. It was just very pleasing, very tight finish, and it just had a buttoned up feel on this car compared to, the previous model. Seeing the steering wheel, it's a lot sleeker. It has that nice little metal thing at the bottom, the little triangle, and even the part where you honk the horn, it's just so sleek. It's not as puffy, it's more flat, very refined in the way they put everything together. I like the button layout, the way it felt, the thickness of the steering wheel, and just being there just was like, man, you could tell this is a new car. It wasn't just a copy or a slight upgrade. You could really feel the significant upgrade with this vehicle. So that really blew me away, and it kind of made me smile, All right, and the only other time that I've tried ventilated seats was my buddy Dan. Shout out to Dan. He actually got me into Tesla even more so, hanging out with him. He had the Model X, and I remember chilling with him and sitting in the front seat, and it was during the summer, and it was super hot. And he's like, oh, just turn on your ventilated seats. And I never sat in ventilated seats. And when that kicked in, man, I was like, damn, this is pretty sick. Like, just another touch of luxury that you really wouldn't have thought of. Obviously, other cars have it, but this one you actually feel. It actually blows out, doesn't just pull like Benz. But it felt really cool. And then having that in this, sub $60,000 car, which is the Tesla Model Y Juniper, it was really cool to see, really cool to test out, and I cranked it up full blast, and it felt amazing. Even though in the showroom it wasn't hot, it was air conditioned, of course, but it was just a cool feature that just added that extra benefit. Now, sitting in the rear seats, I got to feel them, and I feel like the middle seat felt a little less comfortable, like typical middle seats, but it still felt comfortable. This is the back seat of the Tesla Model Y. Got the rear screen back here. It was pretty much similar size, very open. I like the perforation of the seats. They're not cooled, but they do feel pretty good. Seats are just as comfortable. I feel like there's more of a hump here in the center, and then they got the armrest as well. Other than that, you could tell it's more refined and just feels a little tighter, more modern, kind of like an iPhone update, but feels pretty good. But what really took me back was they actually updated the exit buttons on the door. Typically on the Tesla Model Y, they're kind of small. These are a lot bigger. They're kind of like like perfect for like really big thumbs. Just boom right there, and you click it. It's like as big as a seatbelt, button press or whatever you call it. So that was really cool to see. And then the ambient lighting again was just very impressive. Just enough to make it feel futuristic, just enough to make you say, okay, I'm in this spaceship, this cocoon. And again, if anyone knows that vendor or whoever makes it, if Tesla makes it, let me know, because I literally want to take out those silver strips in my Tesla Model Y and put those branded ones in, because they just look amazing, honestly. Like, they look sleek, they look perfect, they're not overdone, and it's just something I'm shooting for. So let me know, and maybe I could Venmo you some money. All right, so what are my final thoughts with the refreshed Model Y? If you do not have a Model Y, or if you had an original one back in 2020, the range and everything's not that good, hardware 3, then if you have the funds or you just don't care, definitely get it. The only thing I'm on the fence about is the range wasn't increased as we would all like, and also it did not get hardware 5. But if it's not out, it's not out. There's nothing we can do. I'm still adapting to the front headlight. The light bar is sick, but the front light bar, I don't know, maybe it feels continuous. That's just my opinion. But if you're on the fence, let me know. Let me know if this refresh is good enough for you to actually get the new Model Y, or you're going to stick with the original one or get a used one for a crazy discount. If you think this car is for you, I'm totally for it. I probably would get it, actually. Like, if I didn't have to get my car last year because we totaled both of them, unfortunately, I would definitely have waited for the refresh because I knew it was coming out for about a year. But I love Tesla Model Y either way, the one I have now, and the new one's pretty sick. The biggest thing you're going to miss out on is a front-facing camera at the bumper, and then the rear folding seats, and obviously the updated interior. And actually, it's a lot of things: light bar, front light bar, rear light bar, launch edition, new rims. I don't know. There's actually a lot you're missing out on. But again, let me know what you think. See you guys in the next one.